let's talk about Adobe. It's betting big on artificial intelligence like many other big tech companies right now. The software giant announcing new generative AI innovations are going to be added to its cloud services at its Adobe Summit today. Adobe Digital Experience Business President Anil Chakravarthy joins us now. Anil, thank you so much for being here. What's been interesting is, those of us in the press and I think in popular culture are very excited about the likes of ChatGPT and consumer-facing AI. You guys are looking at the sort of enterprise potentials for AI. So talk us through how you are approaching that.
Thank you for having me on this morning. When you think of generative AI has the potential to transform what marketers and creative professionals do and actually how they do their work, make them much more productive and creative. So what we're doing is applying the same kinds of technologies you mentioned, like ChatGPT. We're applying them in the context of how marketers can do their work. For example, it acts as a co-pilot to help them with their copy generation. If you're writing a marketing blog or if you're writing a data sheet, you can start writing it and it'll complete it for you. Those are some of the examples of what we call the Sensei generative AI services that we launched today.
And so you launch these services, I mean, they're not going to be free. Of course, there's a lot of work that goes into that. So how does this add on to the value that currently exists within the Adobe broader cloud or suite of offerings that you have, and what the customers, the portfolio of clients that Adobe has, what they can expect to be an incremental, perhaps, cost that they have to consider with regard to some of the services that they do pay for, and this add-on of generative AI within those services?
Yeah, so when you think about what marketers do and creatives do, a lot of the work today is on personalization. Every customer in every industry expects their services, especially their digital services, to be personalized to them, which means the content needs to be personalized, the messages need to be personalized, the offers you put in front of them need to be personalized. That's a lot of work. So therefore, when you look at the amount of demands on content, we have seen that double over the last couple of years. And we did a recent study that said it'll increase by 5x over the next 2 years. The only way to make that happen, if you're a marketer, if you're a creative professional, you're not going to get those additional resources in your teams. You need the power of technology to amplify and make you much more productive. And that's what the Sensei Gen AI services do. Act as your co-pilot so you can be a lot more productive and personalize messages, personalize offers and content to your customers.
And Anil, sort of to put a finer point on what Brad was asking, how much in revenue do you expect from this product? And more broadly, AI-related products, how much of a chunk of business do you expect from that for Adobe in, say, the coming year, 5 years, et cetera?
Yeah, so we actually are building it into our current products and our workflows. So we're not going to monetize the generative AI separately. It is included as part of our product. As you mentioned, there is a cost to it. But one of the things that we have delivered consistently is a track record of innovation across our products. So if you think of a product like our Adobe Experience Manager, which is the leading product for managing content for our enterprises, many of these Sensei generative AI services will be bundled in as part of the Adobe Experience Manager. And this is a recurring revenue product. As customers use more of the product, as they consume more, we actually monetize it through those additional consumption that customers have.
We had a call come through earlier today talking about Meta and how well that's going to be doing with Reels, or at least expected or anticipate to do with Reels here. And I think about the number of Adobe clients out there that are leveraging, one of the different suite of products that you have. How many of those clients would you say are creating content specifically that is going to go into a social media feed via a reel versus via, an AI generated just image of me that I could post?
Yeah, I think we're going to see a complete mix of that. If you look at different industries, for example, you think of retail industries and where they are trying to reach their consumers, whether it's travel and hospitality or a banking, they invest in a mix of different kinds of media, including obviously social media. They also have direct advertising that they do. They also have their own owned media that they publish through. It's a combination of all of those. So when we think of generative AI and how that applies, it is content for all of those different kinds of channels. So for example, what you were just talking about, if it's a video like through Reels or through YouTube, etc., you can actually generate specific content that can go either as an ad or as a promotion as part of that channel. So we're going to see a mix of all of that, and we have a pretty diversified customer base. So the core technology we're building can be personalized and customized based on the industry and based on the marketing mix.
And Anil, maybe this is a little bit of a cynical question, but I mean, is the AI opportunity one for you to upsell your clients, and or is it that they are clamoring for these kinds of tools?
They are really clamoring for these kinds of tools. The demands on marketing and creative content production have just exploded. As customers shift from one-to-many communication to more and more one-to-one type of communication, the needs for content and very specific images, videos, text has really exploded. And the only way they're going to keep up is by integrating all of these generative AI services seamlessly into the workflows that they currently have, because they can't change their workflows completely. They have to integrate it into what they're currently doing.
When you think about the digital experience for customers, there used to be, of course, this phrase, the digital body language, or the terminology, the digital body language, that a lot of marketers would leverage in order to create a better customer experience, a sales cycle, whatnot. And email marketing was at the top of that for so long, alongside, of course, so many of the internet ambitions. Now the mall has shifted towards your social feed. And so if that is the case, what does that mean for Adobe and how marketers that you work with, how different companies that you work with are reprioritizing the different parts of the suite that they're spending on? And is that net positive or net negative for Adobe?
It's a net positive for Adobe. When you think of the different channels of engagement we have, it has now become a complete mix, and you have to keep the customer at the center. You mentioned social. The web presence continues to be extraordinarily important because that's your own media. And if you get a customer there, you really control the message. Mobile is huge. Mobile consumption, both of emails and through the apps, is huge. And then what customers are doing, our enterprise customers are doing, is how to digitally enable every other channel that they have, in store, in venue, on location, in product, whether they have digital products. For example, if you have you're an EV manufacturer and you have an app that your consumers are using, you want to really personalize that app. So all of these channels need to be connected, and that's what we do with our technology.
All right. I don't miss my days of marketing automation campaigns, but at the end of the day, it's fun to rehash some of these conversations. Adobe Digital Experience Business President Anil Chakravarthy, thank you so much for taking the time here today. We certainly appreciate it.